Okay, we should be all set. Thank you to everybody that's hopping on, and I'm super excited. Cannot believe it's the last week of February, which is crazy. But so tonight I'm gonna turn this over, and I think we're gonna talk a little bit about like VIP groups and building followers and groups and things like that. So I'm gonna let you sort of take over and share away. And I will, and everyone's going to be muted. So if you all have like a question or anything, feel free to put it for, there's the chat down at the bottom of the screen as well. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything, but I'm going to turn this over to you. Thanks for doing this tonight.
No problem. Does everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Perfect. Okay. All right, ladies, it's happy Monday. Hey, Fran. Okay, so I thought I would hop on tonight. Totally out of my comfort zone, even though I get in front of 30 or 27 kids on a daily basis, and I can get in front of them. Talking in front of other adults kind of like makes my heart murmur a bit or palpitate, but I'm okay. I'm okay. So anyway, I thought when Erin had set these meetings up, I was like, oh gosh, I can't do this. I cannot do this, but here I am. So I figure my niche is with Zaya is that I've been really successful in my VIP group. So back in April when I joined back in April. I kind of watched a bit in March, and then I joined right at the beginning of April, and I jumped in. And I started a launch party. So everybody, not everybody, but most of us like to start with a launch party and then turn our group into a VIP group. So when I started my launch party back in April, I was very nervous. I wasn't sure. I'd started posting a little bit on Facebook a bit more consistently before even joining Zaya, just to see to get a feel to see if there was something that I could do. And I was having fun with it, and I was getting a bit of engagement. So then when I joined, I said I was a Zaya rep, and then people were interested, and then I did an event, and I'm like, why did I do an event? I should have just did a group. So then once I got everybody into my group, some of my friends, I was very selective of who I chose because I was nervous. I didn't know what people were going to think. I didn't want to be that person to bug people. And it turned out well. I got some sales that month, and I was really happy with how my group went that month. So my group built fairly slowly, just because I was, slowly getting out of my comfort zone. I would add people, but like I said, I didn't add all my friends because I wasn't sure, like I didn't want to bother people. And then it was kind of funny because people that I ended up adding later on ended up being some of my best customers. And I'm like, why didn't I add them sooner? But anyways, it's all just a comfort zone thing, just to get kind of comfortable, being having a group and kind of being in the spotlight, and sharing and learning as I go, because honestly I had no idea what I was doing. I think the first few posts I did were so salesy, like it would make me want to vomit now if I saw my first post. If I went back to like April 7th or whatever when I did my first post, or a couple posts, I'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. But this is how you learn, this is how you grow. So yeah, so that was one thing. I grew it very slowly. So for like the first 2 months, April, May, it was kind of slow, but it was consistent. I was adding people, and then I was trying to add friends to my public profile. So I was also very like, oh, weird about that. Like, oh, I haven't talked to that person in a while, and well, maybe I'll add them. So slowly kind of grew my profile and slowly gained confidence doing so. I would say July is when, like, I was done work. So I'm a teacher. So like I was June tired last year. I was teaching 2 classes with 30 kids in each. And they were very busy. I was just like, teachers, any of teachers out of there know, June tired, you're just tired. So by July, it's kind of when I really hit it. And when I started doing promos to get friends, to add friends to groups. So it wasn't just up to me. So I ended up growing quite a bit, and every time I would get 50 people, I would offer a draw for $25 gift cards. So if you go onto your desktop and you look in your group, if you go to members, you can there's a drop down menu where you can see how many people are added and who's added them. So I would count, you know, like so-and-so added 5 people, so-and-so added 5 people. I kept track of that on pieces of paper because that's what I do. Yeah, so that's how one of the ways that I've grown my group over, and that's pretty much how I've done it. Yeah, I'm up to 628 people, and I would say about a quarter of these people I still don't know or I'm not friends with, and they're people that I've added. As well, just growing my profile, which is a big thing, because when you're starting out, those of you that are starting out, you really want to get into your cold market right from the get-go, because it does take a while for people to, you know, start, you know, engaging and buying from you. And it does work. I do have customers now that I have no idea. I've never met them, and they're engaging all the time. I've done parties for some customers, friends of friends. Yeah, so it's definitely something that takes time and that you should start early. So I would say I probably started about end of May, June to kind of, you know, really push myself to get out of my comfort zone and chat with people in Messenger and get into groups and just chat with people. I didn't feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm with Zaya. You want to check us out? Like at that point, I was just kind of trying to make friends that were not friends of friends. Yeah, so that's one of the ways that I've grown my group today. So the other ways that I've gotten a lot of engagement in my group, I'm kind of jumping here. I've got my list of things here. Is I do a lot of draws and promos. So I kind of scale. It depends, like if I feel I need, you know, a little bit more sales, I'll offer free shipping, or I'll offer this or I'll offer that. And when I was trying to go toward director, I'd offered some friends my 25% discount just to get my PV up, to get there. Just, you know, I needed some extra sales and I did not want to spend $2,000 of my own money. And it worked at that time. But then if I kind of offered it a bit in my group, and then I think it became expected. So I slowly pulled that back because I'm like, this is way too much work. So I feel like your 25% discount is great for stuff like that, but just, I wouldn't offer it too freely, because otherwise you're doing more work than it's worth. Yeah, so I do 20. So I think it was in July, we had 5 releases, and July was a huge month for me. I was off work, so I was able to kind of pour a lot of work into it. And every Wednesday I did a draw. So why not do a draw on the day of the new release? It got people excited, not only for the new release, but for a draw. And so it was like free shipping or a $20 gift card. And of course, people are going to spend more than $20 or $25. Everybody just wants a little bit of a discount or something. So it's great. Yeah, so I found July was really good, and that was when I did my first in-person party, which was awesome as well. I was up in my hometown in Timmins, and I had a friend do a party at her home, and it did really, really well. I've also, so away from the selling and, you know, posting on Wednesdays and offering free shipping here and there, I also like try to serve my group. And I've been following Melanie Mitchell and Katie, the Chic Planner, and Make Sheep Happen. And I think, what are they called? They're called, anyways, they have an amazing podcast. Melanie Mitchell like speaks to me like nobody else, because she came from where I am right now, and she does what she's doing right now, and she's kind of got that no bullshit attitude, which is like the same way I kind of tell it like it is. So I started doing, I think I did my first challenge back in June, which was like a 21-day challenge, and it was difficult because I was posting about that every day. But I found that the engagement from that challenge was just amazing. And of course I offer, I think I offered a 50% off item and a $25 gift card or something for like people to do in 21 days, so many workouts. And they had to like post on my posts, and they had to keep track. And then I did one over the summer because I was doing a challenge over the summer. I was doing an 8-week challenge at my gym. So I challenged people to do, I had to do 4 workouts a week. So I challenged them to do 3. So I did an 8-week challenge. So I do a lot of these challenges, and people really get into them, and they really like them. And I get a lot of amazing feedback from the members in my group. And right now I'm actually running the first challenge that I've ever actually made people pay for, because I'm always kind of dishing out a little bit of money here and there. And I wanted the prize to be a big prize. So I found like if people put money towards something, they're more likely to follow through on it. So right now I'm doing a 21 days to a better me challenge. I gave myself the first week of February off because I did another challenge. Obviously, in the last 2 weeks of January, I did a challenge to give people a push to kind of don't give up now. You have your New Year's resolutions, and it's kind of when people tend to fall off and stop going to the gym and doing things. So I try to give them motivation to continue. So I gave myself a week off, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this challenge. And it was one of my friends from work who's in my group. She's like, Nadia, you have to do this. You should do this and this and this. I said, okay, well, I need to figure this out and how I'm going to do this because it's a lot of work. So I'm like, if I'm doing all this extra work, I'm not putting $100 of my money towards it. I'm going to make people work for it. So $10 is not that much. I think there's 12 of us 12 people in the challenge. So I did the $100 gift card, and I'm using some of the other money plus a little bit of money I'm going to kick in for like a second and third prize. So basically it was a different challenge because I'm making them do 3 workouts in a week. They have to send me 1 day of a food journal and do something out of the comfort zone. And the stuff that I'm getting back, the feedback I'm getting back from these women that are doing stuff out of their comfort zone has been amazing. It's like really sparked some of them, and I'm getting a lot of amazing feedback. So people are like, yeah, when I complete this challenge, I'm going to treat myself to a new pair of leggings, or I'm going to treat myself to this, I'm going to treat myself to that. So, and I decided to do it in my group because I was toying with the fact, well, maybe I should do a separate group because other people might get tired of seeing, but it's kind of like what we say in teaching, like what's good for one student is good for all students. So I'm getting even people that aren't doing the challenge posting on my 21-day challenge saying what they've done today. This is what we're doing. This is what I've done. So it's been really, really, like the last few challenges I've done have been really amazing. And I almost pretty much run a challenge a month. And it's to kind of serve people. While I'm posting, like yesterday I posted about, I had a really off day and I was just off, and, you try to be vulnerable and show them that, I might be, I don't know, I'm fairly fit, I guess. And I've shown them that, like I've shown them that where I work out, they've seen a lot of, my routine and what I do, but there's days that I'm off and there's days that I'm not at my best. And I show them that, and I got a lot of feedback from that and a lot of people relating to that. So it's been great. So I have a few people in this challenge that I don't know. So that's my cold market, being tapped into my cold market. So it's been amazing. Like, it's just, I sometimes I can't believe where I was a year ago and to where I am now. So I feel like these challenges are a good way to serve your community. It's a simple way. It could just be working out, like challenging them to work out 3 times a week. I have a note. I do it in my notes. I keep track. I have a table right now in my notes, and I have their name in the table, and I just put check marks next to, like, when they post, or if they send me a personal message, I just check mark it. It's a lot easier than carrying around paper. I think the first few challenges I did paper with. So that's a big part of what I'm doing in my group, with growing my group by offering that incentive to add your friends. When they do go back to that, when they do add their friends, I check them out. I take a look. I like to message them. I like to, welcome them to the group personally. So I do that. It can be cumbersome. It can take a bit of time, but it makes that personal connection, which is huge, because they're not going to buy from you unless they kind of know who you are. Like I said, I have quite a few people in my group that I don't know right now. So it's been great. The other thing I really like to do is shout out my customers. So the last few months, I tried to get them to post this month, because I'm like, I've got this challenge I'm doing. I'm trying to, like, keep up with outfits of the day, outfit inspirations, all this other stuff. I said, maybe I'll try to throw it back on them. And I said, okay, those of you that post a picture of yourself in Zaya and tell us why you like it in my group yourself, you'll get your name in a draw for a $25 gift card. So far I have 3 people that have done that. So I think this week what I might do to kind of give it one last push is that I'll just get them to send me. So last month, the last 2 weeks while I was doing this other challenge, I did a customer appreciation. And it was just a little blurb. I write 2 lines about them. So they'd send me a picture. I would put in what they're wearing, how much they love it. And then I had a little note I would copy and paste from my notes that I would just say, okay, so-and-so, you receive a ballot for this month for the draw for the customer appreciation. So it's super simple. So I'm not typing or, clicking out a message every time. I do a lot where I copy and paste from my notes. So yeah, that's been great because it gets, people seeing their friends. So the likes that I've been getting, because I'm starting to track my likes. The likes that I've been getting from different people, you could tell, oh, they're friends with that person. They appreciate that, or they really like that outfit. So it's been great. So that's the other thing that I've been doing. I started about a month ago or so, really kind of dialing into who's commenting and who's liking my posts in my group. And then I personal message these people. And I've actually had some really great conversations with people that I haven't seen in 20 years or people that I don't know. I actually had one conversation with a girl that I knew in high school that I literally have not seen in over 20 years. And she's like, I've been following you. It's great. You're so inspiring. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring me and my husband. My husband's only 47 years old and he's had like 3 heart attacks, and you're inspiring us, to take better care of our health. So I gave her some tips. I said, why don't you try reading this book? And she's like, is it okay if I check back with you? I'm like, yeah, of course, like message me anytime. So you're making these connections, and as much as it feels good to sell, like get that big order in and be like, yeah, looking at your PV, looking at your group volume and rank advancing, like that made my day. That was amazing. This is like one of the reasons why I do what I do, and I do it consistently, because whether she ever buys a bra or anything from me, I know that I've helped her and her husband out. And that to me is just it warms my heart. I love it. So then that's one of the things, that's one of our pillars, which is amazing. Yeah, so those are a couple of things that I've done. I just remembered, where was the other thing? Lives. I try to do at least 1 or 2 lives a week. Sometimes I slack, sometimes I like overdo it. It just depends on the week. It depends, so my husband's a shift worker. So when he's working night shift or he's away, I tend to do a lot more then. I put my kids to bed and I just kind of indulge in it. So those are my bigger pockets of time I can work in, because right now I'm trying to find the balance. I do a lot at 5 a.m. as well. Like I get up early because I can, and I like to. And I've been doing a lot of my mindset work and my group work and my Zaya stuff early in the morning. So live's great. Yeah, they didn't come easy to me at first. I don't think I did my first live until June. And I'm pretty sure I had my daughters with me. I used to do a video and then post it, but doing the live is amazing because you can interact with people and you can have it more of a conversation. It's fun. It's, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you have to do it. Like you make a mistake, oh well, you just kind of go off the cuff. So lives are great. So if you haven't done any lives in your group, I strongly encourage you, even just to get on there by yourself, or grab your kids and bring them in with you, or your dog or whatever, make it a 2-minute live, so I like to write out what I'm going to do. Otherwise I go off on a tangent. I've had 20, 30-minute lives because I've had conversations in the live, and I've just kind of went off on a tangent, which sometimes can be good, sometimes not. Then I keep repeating myself because I'm like, they're not going to watch all this and they're not going to get all the information. And then it ends up being forever. Anyways, so yeah, lives are great. Do them. There was one more thing here. I can't find it. I have VIP links, which I have in my announcements that I try to announce once in a while. I haven't been doing that as much lately because I did try to do the whole try to have a party in your VIP group, but I find that those weren't very successful. My parties that I have in my other groups are hit and miss. I've had great parties with barely any engagement, and then a $1,400 party. And then I've had parties with tons of engagement that zero. So those are hit and miss. I'm still working on that. But I do have VIP customers that buy from me often. So I've told them, I'm going to set you up a link because it doesn't make any sense for me. I feel bad. You need to set up a link. So I do keep a list of them in my announcements, but I don't know if anybody actually goes in there and takes a look at that. Oh geez, I've now lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so last week I put myself out there. And I did a poll. There was the first time I did a poll in my group to see what other people wanted, because I actually bought the Make Chic Happen planner. And I'm, like I said, I'm going to start tracking, you know, to see what they want to kind of deliver and serve my customers more with what they want to see. So I put a poll and I had a bunch of different things listed, and I was kind of surprised with what they wanted to see to what I had been giving them. I didn't take it personally. I thank God I've been working on my mindset so much lately, because of me, maybe a month or two ago would have been like, oh my gosh, like I would have kind of felt really self-conscious a bit and like not ready for that. And it's probably why I didn't put myself out there and say, what am I doing? Am I doing what they want me to see? So I like, when you're ready, if you're ready, I strongly suggest putting a poll and see what they want to see, because it's easier to plan out your week that way. You're just like, okay, well, this is what they want to see. Here's what I'm going to do. So like when I plan out my week in my group, I kind of follow a bit of a pattern. So like Monday's usually some sort of motivation, never miss a Monday. I missed it today. So I did a post about it being a forced rest day, because our schedules just didn't align with me, allowing me to go to the gym. So, but I like to do that motivation push first thing in the morning. And I always do a post first thing in the morning, like between 6 and 7. Tuesday could be Transformation Tuesday or Testimonial Tuesday. Then of course, Wednesday is a new release. So obviously I have a new release post in the morning. You know, stay tuned. If there's a sneak peek, I like to put that in. Thursdays, I throw back. So I like, because now that I've built up a bit of content, I throw back to something old and I'll just add in a little blurb so that I have a nice long story or something, and I'll tweak it to what I want it. But it's not like I'm sitting there writing something really long out and then, you know, I'm reusing my purpose. Friday, foodie, fun Friday. Saturday, you know, I haven't really nailed down something for Saturday. Sunday's usually gratitude, you know, relaxing, you know, get a little bit of activity in, but spend time with your family. So I kind of like to, you know, it helps me focus each day of the week. And then I like to do 3 to 5 posts per day. And I'm pretty consistent with that, at least an outfit. Not too salesy. That's why I was really liking the customer appreciation ones, because then like you're not always seeing stuff on me. I pull from the Zaya marketing page. I've been doing that a lot more lately, because people want to see outfit inspirations, and I have enough stuff, but like I don't want them seeing it on me. I want them seeing it in different sizes as well. And it has been pretty good feedback from that. So yeah, and then my biggest thing the last 6 months that I've been doing is the mystery host party. I don't do a lot of parties. I think back in September I did 6 and it was insane. I did 2 a week, and to me it was just it's a lot of extra work. Like I said, I haven't found my niche in that, but I have in my mystery note host parties. And for I think pretty much since September, I've had, well, actually October, I've had $1,400 parties. Last month, I had 2 $1,400 parties. So that was party for me, party for you. I debated on, should I give an extra party out? I'm like, no, I'm going to keep that one for myself. I actually had 2 $1,400 parties plus a small party. So I gave out 2 extra 50% off items using that third party. The small one. And so I ended up closing one of those. And so this month I have another $1,400 party and then counting. So it's great. Like I find like those really drive sales, and people like they I don't know if they expect that from me or not, but it's come to be, I guess, a little bit of an expectation. So, and I go with it. It works. And it's not as much work as doing an actual party every week. So this week I'm trying to actually, like right now, book a party for next week, because my husband will be away. So I will have a little bit of extra time the whole week. So I'm like, okay, perfect time to have a party. But yeah, that's about it. I think I've covered everything. Like, I just think being consistent, like I think I've honestly, since I started this group back in April, there might have been one day, and it was when I was in Mexico. Even when I was in Mexico, I was posting, not as often, but I was still posting, and I try to post on my personal page as well and trickle in, Zaya. And it worked, like, because when I was away, I was wearing my black everywhere pants a lot, and just the everywhere. I had like sales for like 4 or 5 pairs of everywhere pants next week when I got back. So it works. Like, even if you're away, it's good to kind of just trickle it in there. And yeah, I found when I got back that week after, I was like, holy mac, I thought, wow, I'm a week out. Like I don't even think I got any sales when I was in Mexico. I got back and it was a really great month. I put my goal up on my mirror and I just kept increasing it. I'm like, all right, I've hit this goal. Let's increase it another $500. And I ended up hitting the $3,500 that I wanted that month in sales. So in 3 weeks, January was a great month. So anyways, I think that's it for now. And I'm just trying to look at the time because I know this is like, I tend to, like I said, ramble on. If anybody has any questions or comments or want to know anything, let me know. Cause, and I know there's some of you that are in my group, and I don't mind if you take some of my ideas and use them and make them your own in your own group, because I'm a teacher. That's what we do, beg, borrow, and steal. So I'm kind of used to that, and I pull from other inspirations from other group, but I have come up with a few things on my own that I think have been working. Thank you. I need to get on the lives. Yes, you should do the lives, Mallory. Like really game changer. And they get easier as you go. Like they really do. Like Fran did a live earlier this week, and she's my new rep, and she did amazing. I watched it. I loved it. And you just kind of have to jump in 2 feet, like whatever. You know what? Like you only live once. Do it. It's awesome. They're fun. There's some good ones and there's some not so good ones. I would just suggest when you're doing a live, make sure you have high energy and that you're really have the mindset and ready to do it. Otherwise it'll just go flat and you won't feel it. That's the only thing I suggest about lives. Anyway, awesome mix. Yep. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Yeah, so anyways, that's all I have. I'm pretty sure if I have anything else, I'll just, post it in the group. But that's it for me now, unless you guys have any other questions.
Thank you for doing this.
No problem. I loved it. I probably could have talked a little longer, but I'm like, looking at the time, trying to keep it to a minute.
Those are all like super great tips. And I think a lot of it too is just being strategic about how you like how and when you do giveaways and how much you're spending on them. And like I find that takes some like kind of testing, and like you try things, like with everything, you try it and some things seem to work and other things don't. And like I do a lot where I feel like I offer things and I won't really get any like traction from it. And then like when Zaya had the like sale, whenever that was, the anniversary sale or whatever, and it was a minuscule amount, like it was nothing. And I had all of these people like come out of the woodwork and order. And I was like, I offer you guys like twice and 3 times that, like all the time. And like, you don't take it, but like, it was just like the right day or like whatever it was, right? Like who knows? But I find that I try to like kind of keep track. And as I've gotten further into my business, I keep a spreadsheet and I try to kind of keep a good handle on like my expenses, my business expenses. And like when I was doing my taxes for, this previous year, looking at it holistically over the year, it was like, I've given away a lot of money. Like I've spent a lot of money. And I think it's hard to equate how much I've spent with how much I've made, like one for one. I don't know how to extract that. I think that the money that I have spent have been good investments. But I definitely, when I look back at it in a chunk, like in minute to minute, it's like, oh, sure, like free shipping, this, like whatever, right? But when I looked at it holistically, I was like, oh, I kind of like, I spent a lot of money last year, right? And my groups grew and my customers grew and I whatever, right? So like my business grew. So I think that there's value added to it, but I do think you have to kind of like, you have to test things out to see what works. Cause like what works for one network does not seem to work for the other. And then also just kind of looking at it from a business standpoint of like what's value added and what seems to be like bringing you in, whatever it is, versus like you're just kind of like putting stuff out there and like, it's either not working, it doesn't stick, or you're just spending more than like you should be, right? So I think it's good to be strategic. I also would always say, and I totally agree with this, when you look at the calendar, if you are going for like rank advancements or a key legal or whatever it is, those 5-week months when they fall and you have 5 launches, July was one of them. Like those are just total gold mines, I have found, because you have a whole extra week of, stuff to promote. And I find that they're huge. So I always tell people, like, if you're looking strategically ahead a couple of months and you're looking at the calendar and you're like, I'm getting close to getting director, or, again, whatever your milestone, your next thing is, um, harnessing the power of having that whole additional like 5th week, it makes a huge difference. And so like that's a month where July was the same way. Like I knew that I was going to be like close enough to hit executive that I poured into July. Like I knew July was like a month for me, right? And up until like literally 11:35, on July 31st or whatever, I was like finagling all of these different things, but I spent money and I incentivized people heavily in that month because I knew that there was something really big coming on the back end of it. So part of that, I think, is just kind of, again, strategically looking at not only like what's happening today and being consistent and posting and whatever this week and whatever, but looking at your business in more of a like kind of global manner of like, here's where I'm at right now. Here's what I need to get to X, Y, and Z, whatever. And how can I harness my team, my group, whatever it is, incentivize whatever those pieces are that I need to like get to that thing.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. Like, cause in July I actually double ranked. I went from like just a representative up to senior rep in that month. And it was awesome. Like I had a really great month that month. And then September was another really great month for rank advancement. And I haven't rank advanced since then, but I'm trying, but I'm not like, it's not, it's important, but it's not stressing me out. So still trying to have fun with it and go with it and do my thing. And I'm just reaching out more now to other people and like having more conversations, getting more people into my group, making more connections so that, when those big months come, that I'll have that all in place.
Yeah, it's just planting seeds, right? It's just kind of like sprinkling things in, and it's making networks, making connections. And so much of that is not like instantaneous, like, oh wow, like, I had all these amazing things happen, but it's just kind of laying the framework and the groundwork. And then, eventually people, either they'll see something that they get super excited about, and want to purchase it, or they'll continue to follow along, and then they'll be like, oh, this is fun, maybe I should do this, whatever it is, right? But it's just sort of like sprinkling it in there, so that people are seeing it and consistent and whatever it is. And then over time, they really gain trust in you, and they come really, they come to you for advice and whatever it is. And they find value and enjoyment in being part of your group, right? And they want to participate with it. And then they want to invite people because, they get excited about either what they purchased or they like your group or whatever it is. And then each of those things, it's just kind of, it's a slow burn. But over time, there's a lot of compounding effects from it. And it's the long game. It's not the quick, gratification type thing. It's definitely more of a long-term thing. But that consistency, I mean, I found that it's everything, right? And having a group that really people, again, add into, and you have all of these new networks and all these new connections. Parties can be really hit or miss for how successful they are, having nothing to do with anything that you do, right? You do or don't do in a lot of ways. So having a group where you can incentivize people to come into, it's essentially the same value of having a party, right? It's making connections with new people. So you're doing the same thing, incentivizing people to come into your group in a lot of ways sometimes has more value than trying to like do a bunch of virtual parties, which may or may not be successful.
Yeah, and it's less work. If you're poor, I like, that's why I pour so much into my group, because there's people in there. I have 600 people. Like I have 600 people that I could reach out to, and like right there. And if they want to do a party, or if they want to link, like it's perfect. Like that's why I find it like I like parties, but it's like I'll do 1 or 2 a month, but I'd rather put a lot of my energy into my group. And I find that I'm starting. It's the momentum's going. The wheel's been pumping, and it's coming. The people are coming, and a lot of them in the last 2 months. So it's been great. And now I can ask them to pay into the gift card that they're going to walk away with, rather than me putting out $100, which has been amazing. So
Love it. Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap up so everybody can start working on getting to bed. But thank you so much for doing this and for all the great ideas. And I will post the link for everyone that couldn't see it so that they can hear some of your stuff too as well, because it's so great. So thanks.
all right,
Bye. You guys have a great week.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.